Okay, we are back with an updated list, top 5 pros, top 5 cons that you need to consider before you move to Fort Wayne. If you're new to the channel, I'm Jake McAfee, real estate agent with 14 years of selling experience. I moved away with my family and moved back after 12 years. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, I know exactly what you're going through. Be sure to reach out. But now let's get into the list. Okay. Pro number 1. This one may sound a little silly, but it's Hoosier Hospitality, you know, Midwest friendliness, however you're gonna phrase it, but it's the culture here. We're a very warm, very friendly, people chat you up. You go to the gas station, you're waiting in line at the grocery store, people strike up a conversation with you. You know, when I lived in Florida, I was down in Orlando, big, busy city. People kind of kept to themselves. It was a faster pace, and when I came back, you know, you'll find that there's a lot more connectedness and people go out of their way to really connect with you. You know, it ultimately led to me moving back. So again, I had been in Florida for 12 years. My wife and I bought an investment property here to do Airbnb with. And every time I came back, I just noticed that all my interactions were very friendly, very warm. People chatted me up again. You know, I'd be out and people just went out of their way to be very nice to me. And it was very striking. And then I'd go back and I'd see the stark contrast. So that one thing led to another, and we ended up relocating our family back. Another part of it is this is a much more religious culture. You know, it took a little bit of getting used to. I was born and raised Catholic, went to a Catholic school. I went public school for 6 years, private school for 6 years, but you know, down in Florida, I feel like religion is not at the forefront. And here it is. You know, this is a city of churches. I've actually done videos about that if you want to check it out. It's very religious and very family friendly environment. Crime is also very low here. I mean, even the bad parts of town are nothing like the bad parts of town in some of the other cities I've been to. You know, I've done work in Baltimore, DC, Charlotte, Phoenix, Arizona, Tacoma, Washington. It's much safer here, and you know, the crime statistics bear that out, and I encourage you to dig in. One thing I would ask if you are gonna move here, you know, pay it forward. Don't change the city to be like where you were. Kind of embrace the culture and remember that that's what brought you here. Okay, now it's time for con number 1, and that is the slower pace of life. So for me, that's kind of a pro, but you know, if you're coming from a bigger city, you know, for example, we don't have a nightlife here at all. You know, there's very little to speak about. You know, we don't have any 24-hour stores. You know, in Florida, I could go, if I had a sick child, I could go run in the middle of the night and get medicine somewhere at the Walmart or something like that. Now, it was a very dangerous environment. There was multiple police there patrolling it, but at least there was stores that were open. The town shuts down here pretty early. We don't have any major league sports teams either. So we do have some fun minor league. You know, we've got the Tin Caps baseball stadium. The stadium wins lots of awards. We've got the Comet hockey team, and we've got a new stadium being built for our football team, proper football, the soccer team. So there are some things in the works, but it's definitely not, you know, major league sports. Again, for some, if you're looking for the slower pace, this is perfect. But if you're looking for a little more hustle and bustle, this is definitely not the place. Okay, pro number 2. And that is affordability. I've got another video coming out about this, about affordability. You know, our median sale price is $248,000. LA is 1.1 million. You know, Chicago's 360,000, San Francisco 1.4 million. Just about every measurable category, we have a lower cost of living. You know, we've got great public schools, low property taxes, lower cost of gas, lower cost of house insurance, low cost of car insurance. Basically, again, in every measurable category, Indiana's gonna be on the lower end. So your dollars go a lot farther. You know, for me, that ended up meaning that my wife could stay home with our children. She quit a very high paying job. We moved here and our quality of life was so much more affordable that she's been able to stay home with the children, and it's been a massive blessing. Okay, con number 2. And that is the weather. Again, this could be a pro in some people's eyes. We do have 4 seasons, but it is cold and it is gray for about 6 months out of the year. Right now, I don't know if you can hear it in this video. I was gonna go get some drone video later. That's definitely out of the question. It's cold, it's gray, it's windy. I think it was hailing earlier. So the weather here is definitely a con in many people's eyes. Some people report seasonal depression. Thankfully, I haven't had that experience. Now, when I left town, it was partially because of the weather. I wanted to try something new, but definitely the weather was a factor. That's why I moved to Florida. Since I've come back, I came in with a positive attitude, and I've learned to embrace it. I've learned to love it. I also grew a beard and put on a few pounds, so maybe that has something to do with it. It also makes your car dirtier in the winter. You're hitting potholes, it's wet, you got snow, you've got ice. It's also, if you have children, it's a lot harder to find things to do. So what I like to do is I like to save all the indoor activities for the winter. So for example, Science Central, Fun City, those type of bounce house type places. I don't do any of that in the summer with the kids, even though they'll beg me sometimes, and I save it for the winter. So that way, we have somewhere to go that's fun and special and indoors. Okay, pro number 3, we have an excellent public school system. So just for the high schools alone, there are 429 high schools in Indiana. We have 3 in the top 35. So Homestead High School, Southwest Allen County Schools, they rank number 8 of all high schools in the state. Carroll High School, Northwest Allen County Schools, they rank number 27, and I'm assuming that's gonna keep rising. They're making major investments, new administrative building, new football stadium, new programs coming. There's a lot of good things going on there. I'm assuming they're gonna continue to climb the ranks, but I have friends in that system and they absolutely love it. And then Leo High School ranks number 32, just northeast of Fort Wayne. Leo's a great little town, lots of nice houses, lots of good people. The school has grown like crazy. It used to be kind of a little farm school, and now it's grown into a bigger school. I think that trend is gonna continue because of the popularity of the area. So I would assume their rankings are gonna climb, but basically you can go to a great high school essentially for free through your tax dollars. Okay, now it's time for con number 3. That is our public transportation and lack of walkability. So we have very limited public transportation. We do have a bus system, but it doesn't go all over different parts of town. The city is not very walkable. It's very suburban, very spread out. Now there's not a lot of traffic, but you pretty much need a car if you're gonna live here, and ideally if you can afford it, both spouses should have a car, and it's gonna make your life a lot easier. It can even be hard to get Ubers. I live on the edge of Fort Wayne, the southwest edge, pretty close to the country. And I've had times where I can't get an Uber to accept my request. So I would say that is definitely one of the cons to living here. Okay, pro number 4, and that is our outdoors. We have a lot to do here and a lot of different avenues for all types of people. Number 1, we've got great public parks. There's parks all over town. I love taking my kids to the park, but even if you don't have children, there's pickleball, golf courses, hiking trails, basketball, anything you can think of is in these parks, and they're well maintained. They're beautiful. City of Fort Wayne's Parks Department does an amazing job. We've also got an incredible trail system. So we've got the Pufferbelly Trail, the River Greenway, and essentially that goes through downtown. They're trying to connect that all the way up to Angola, north of Fort Wayne, down all the way through to Bluffton. In a car, it would take over an hour to drive that, and they're trying to connect trails all the way. So we've got a great trail system, lots of views. It runs through a lot of neighborhoods. I just sold someone a house that moved here from Arizona. Hiking and running was really important to him and his wife, and he bought a house right off the Pufferbelly Trail. Speaking of the parks again, if you like to jog or walk, we've got great parks for that. Foster Park, Shove Park, Buckner, really all of them, but those 3 especially have long trails that are great, very scenic. You see people walking dogs, jogging, riding bikes, all kinds of stuff. We've also got a lot of waterways. So we've got 3 rivers that meet right in the heart of downtown. There's a lot of natural lakes in the area. So, kayaking, canoeing, fishing, that kind of thing. The other thing that is great for this area is lake life. So if you move here, you might hear a lot of people talk about the lake, going to the lake. Hey, this weekend we're going to the lake. There's not one lake. There's actually a lot of lakes in Indiana. They're very clean, great for fishing. You can eat the fish. People like to, go tubing, skiing, that kind of thing. And there's beautiful lake homes, especially now. There's been a lot of new construction homes. So I love riding in the lakes and, seeing all the different houses. So, either get yourself a lake home or, do what I do. Make sure you have friends with lake homes. Shout out to my friends with the lake homes. And the last thing I want to touch on with the outdoors, this one might seem kind of silly, but it was important to me. I'm a landscaping guy, I'm a lawn guy. We've got kind of a blend of Kentucky bluegrass, ryegrass, fescue, that kind of thing, but it's very, very soft. You can sit in it and it just feels good. And not only that, it's very pretty at stripes, but the reason I bring that up, when we were in Florida, we had St. Augustine, and it was just so itchy, and none of my kids wanted to go on it. It's very high maintenance. It dies really easily because it's so hot. So again, simple as it is, like one of my simple joys in life is watching my kids play on the lawn, and knowing that I provided that. I just love it. Okay, con number 4. This is not a great town for singles. You know, if you're younger and you're in college and you're going to bars, you can definitely meet people. It's a lot harder for older people who are single. Maybe you're divorced, maybe you just never found a spouse. It's definitely harder. We don't have a great nightlife for older people. You know, when I was in Orlando, there was a section of downtown where I used to work called Thornton Park. And if you would go out at night, I would say it was almost primarily people over 25, over 30. You know, so if you were 40, 50 going out for some, you know, going to a wine bar, wanted to hang out, cigar bar, go get a beer, you would be around a lot of peers and people your age, and it was much easier to network with that type of demographic. Here it's a lot harder. I heard there's gonna opening a bar soon that's 30 and up. I'm very curious to see how that goes because I do have some single friends, and unfortunately I do know people who are divorced, and I know they have a really hard time connecting. So hopefully that changes because I think there is a demand for it here, but right now it's definitely tough to meet. Okay, the final pro number 5, and that is our job market. So right now, as of last month, the unemployment rate in the area is 3.8%. We have a very strong healthcare, manufacturing, and business service market. So we've got Parkview Healthcare Network, you know, Parkview, Lutheran, IU Health is making major investments here. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of IU Health very soon. Sweetwater, that's a world-renowned brand for music. This is kind of a music headquarters. We're very lucky that Chuck Surratt continues to stay here. So we've got Sweetwater Sound. The GM plant, we manufacture a lot of trucks in this area through GM. And we've also got Vera Bradley, and the Do It Best Center has their corporate headquarters here. So, and then there's all kinds of manufacturing, especially in the periphery, you know, Columbia City, Auburn, New Haven, stuff like that. You see a lot of industrial and manufacturing businesses. So our job market is very strong. Okay, con number 5, the final con, and that is we still, as far as we've come, we have a very limited food scene. So, you know, we have come a long way. There's a lot more options, a lot less chain options than there used to be. You know, there was a period of time when I was growing up that it was pretty much all chains, and Fort Wayne was very hesitant to go away from the chains. But now I feel like the culture has flipped, which I think partially is social media. You know, people can connect and post a good restaurant where they're at, and then other people want to go check it out, which is why I do all the food videos. If you haven't watched those, check it out. I tour a lot of restaurants, and the whole idea is I'm trying to create awareness for these businesses because we do have some great food. But compared to a big city, you know, it's definitely not the same. You know, we might have 1 or 2, 3, 4 options for each type of food, where like in Orlando where I was, you know, there might be 50 options for Italian and, you know, 30 options if you want to get like pho or Vietnamese food or something like that, where here we might have like 4 or 5. So again, it's come a long way. I think our best days are ahead of us there, and there are some good food options. But, you know, if you're coming from Chicago, Indy, Detroit, places in California or the East Coast, you're gonna find that it is a little bit limited. Okay, that wraps it up. Top 5 pros, top 5 cons for the area. I hope it was helpful. If we missed one of the things that you love or one of the things that you maybe don't love so much, make sure you leave it in the comments. I want people who are moving to the area to learn not just from my voice, but I want input from other people, so that way people who are moving here get a good feel for what we have to offer. If you're thinking about moving to the area, I'd love to be your real estate agent of choice. We can start off with a phone call. Then I like to move to a Zoom call where we get to connect and talk about what's important to you and help put a plan together to make it as easy and stress-free as possible. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay in touch with all things Fort Wayne, and we'll catch you on the next video.